Hey, what's up,
Hey, what's up,
Seekers?
Seekers?
Wanubi with Golden Dragon Fortunes, your K-Rap Psychic. I'm here with,
Maylee Lotus,
okay,
numerologist.
numerologist. Yeah, in this case. You do other things too, but
Yes, I do. But in this case, I'm the numerologist. Feng
okay.
Shui consultant,
All right.
fortune teller
Um,
reader.
yeah, let's go. So today what we're going to do, sorry we weren't here last week because I had laryngitis. I couldn't talk really. I'm still kind of getting over it. Um, but yeah, I had laryngitis, so that's what happened to me. Um, and we're going to talk about today about two people. Oops. Whoops. Hang on a second.
I see technical issues.
Yes,
Uh-oh. Not
that's no
perfect,
problem.
but we're doing
So
our
we're going to talk about
best.
these two popular stars. One's a drama star, one's an idol, and she's done drama, and that's Park Min Young. You know, popular K-drama actress who's been very popular for the last several years. Well, for quite a long time, but most recently she's like really good, really popular at rom-coms, romantic comedies. Um, or that kind of thing. She has really good screen presence. She's kind of known as Miss Congeniality or Miss Chemistry because she makes, the chemistry on screen is really palpable. Anyway, so we're going to talk about her because she has some controversy going on in her life. And then Kim Jisoo of Blackpink. There's been a request about her doing her solo, and she's going to be the last one to do it out of the four members of Blackpink. So we'll talk about them, and then we'll do a quick Q&A as well. Um, so anyway, that's what we're going to do. We'll try to stay on schedule here a little bit, try to get organized. Let's see. I don't know why this banner is not working right. Uh, Hi.
Little,
Okay. Here we go. Here we go. That's what it should look like this.
okay.
Um, so let's look at us. So
Oh,
here's
there you are. Hey, so
here's me, and there's
is
Maylee.
can you see any chats on the other line? Any chats?
I
No
got to look at the
chats?
chat thing. Yeah, you're not. Yeah, are you centered? Yeah, let's see. Um, Comments. Um, no, I don't see any comments right now.
Okay, as long as they're working.
I think it's working.
Okay.
Um, anyway, so that's what we're gonna do today. So might as well get started. Anyway, how you been, Maylee?
Oh, good. Just I'm okay. I'm not complaining. I like the
Okay,
rain.
all
I
right.
like the water, but boy, has it been cold outside. I guess the
Yeah, we
world
had a
is
little kind of
is
inclement
cold.
weather here in Northern California. But anyway, people are
But
from
I'm
all over the world, so they don't
yeah.
really care about our local weather.
Oh, they care about our California weather. Come on.
Anyway,
No.
it was snowing on the foothills. That's
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
unusual for Northern California. It
Very
happens once every
unusual.
10 years or so.
We're
Um,
supposed to be in a drought. That's why it's so unusual.
well, I don't know, but anyway, um, yeah. So the weather's kind of changed, but
But it's
I'm sure
good.
the weather's weather is something that everybody talks about, but nobody does anything about.
Well,
So
that's because we can't do anything about it. It's
yeah,
nature, Mother
it would be
Nature.
kind of scary if we could, because then it changes everything.
Okay.
Um,
But otherwise, everything's great. Thank you.
Yeah, good. Well, yeah, I think you're trying to work on a feng shui. Meili does feng shui, so I think there's a couple of feng shui things that maybe in the works. We'll see if they come out.
Yeah, well, we'll
Uh,
see. Well, that's Mother Nature. That's why we really can't control Mother Nature.
yeah. Okay. Um,
Yeah.
sure. All right. So let's go to the meat of the broadcast here, and let's go to presentation mode. Let's see. Here we go. And so Park Min Young and Kim Jisoo of Blackpink. We're going to talk about them briefly today. Do a little reading on them. So let's go to with K-Rap Psychic and Amelia Lotus. And so let's go with Park Min Young. I'll give you a little background. She was born in Seoul in March 4th, 1986. So she's 36 years old. Um, do you have some numerology information on her yet, or?
Well, actually, yes. That four energy that she is. She's a well, it says with a four birthday. She
Mhm.
would like stability. She's very rational in any situation. She's a rock and a hard worker, obviously, because she's such a popular person. And perseverance makes you. She makes very. She's a very dependable person because she's so. You know, in her box. She's just a very. I would say more on a conservative. Even though she's beautiful, she's creative, but she's very conservative thinking inside herself.
Yeah. I think that's probably right, because I
Hmm.
mean, she, her on-screen camera is, tremendous, but in her personal life, she's, obviously pretty private. She has been, I think she dated somebody, quite a while ago, maybe 10 years ago. Um, but, what we're going to talk about is a little bit about who she's been dating in the last year or
Mm,
so,
okay.
because that's a bit of a controversy for her, has been in all the, the online tabloids.
Right.
But I've watched her in several of her more recent dramas because I like her personally. She really comes across well on camera, and she's really good in these romantic comedies, these rom coms. Um, and so some of the most she's a Pisces and she's a wood tiger as far uh, as her zodiac
Zodiac. So
or
she's a water.
profession.
She's complementary. Water, Pisces, and wood. Water
Yeah,
feeds wood. So that's really a good combo.
yeah, yeah. So Wood Tiger and Pisces, and
Hmm.
some of her more recent TV show dramas was What's Wrong with Secretary Kim. This was Park Seo-joon. That was a really great. They had super chemistry. Everybody thought they were dating because their chemistry was like really, really kind of remarkable. Um, and then there was Her Private Life, where she was kind of like kind of a professional by day, and then at night or off time, she would like this boy group or this boy, she was like a K-pop fan. She would take pictures and she'd have a blog and all this stuff. Uh, so that was kind of a funny show. And then I just finished watching Forecasting Love and Weather. So this is where she's working in the Korean, you know, national weather forecasting government group, and then there's a lot of love twists, and obviously a lot of weather. So it's like everything's changing, like the weather. It's like all these relationships and love angles are changing, like the weather. So
We were just talking about the weather just now. Remember?
yeah, yeah. So that was a good segue. And then
Uh-huh.
I think I think she has another one I haven't seen, but it's I think it was last year too. It's called Love in Contract. So she's very, she usually does. I mean, she's very hardworking. So she always does these dramas. She's always popular. She's always reading new scripts, negotiating, the next thing. But she more recently she had over starting last year. She had a little bit of controversy starting in September of last year, 2022, and that was September 28th. Dispatch, which is kind of this kind of like TMZ in the U.S. Uh, Tries to get information on all these stars, and kind of unveil them. So Dispatch reported that she was dating this guy named Kang Jong-hyun, a businessman and chairman of BitThumb and other
Hmm.
businesses. So BitThumb is a crypto exchange in Korea, and this guy Kang Jong-hyun had other businesses also he was sort of related to. I mean, I think some of them were supposedly owned. His sister was officially on the chairman stuff, but he was involved somehow. So it's kind of some shady deals somehow about what he's done because he used to. The reason why, because he used to spend lavishly. Um, well, first they Dispatch said that they had been seriously dating to the point where they introduced each other to their families, the parents or whatever. Um, and then uh, Kong was known for lavishly spending like $100,000 a night at these fancy
Wow.
nightclubs. And he'd buy, he'd ask for 10 female hostesses, and then he'd buy all these expensive bottles of champagne and, really
Wow.
kind of ostentatious, conspicuous consumption. And so he was just kind of just blowing it, blowing everything out, very overtly all the time, in the hottest Gangnam district, nightclubs, the expensive nightclubs. So, um, but he had a little shady background because he was charged with fraud and forgery back in 2013, 2014. So, but she was dating him. So I don't know how that came about or what she was thinking. But since the Dispatch came out with that on September 28th of last year and said they're dating, the then what happened was the next day, September 29th, Park Min Young's agency said they had broken up. It's like they broke up overnight, or midnight, or the next morning. Um, and he said that he admitted later in an interview that yeah, they broke up because he didn't want to ruin her acting career because she loves acting, and he doesn't want to get in the way of that. Um, but then fast forward to February this year, he was arrested on February 2nd,
Mm.
2023, on stock manipulation and fraud. Um, and he's got these other countries. It's BitThumb, and he's got 3 or 4 or 5 other ones, and it's kind of shady about how it all works and where does the money come from. And then he admitted that he doesn't have this fancy car, that was a friend's, and he doesn't live in this fancy condo, that was he was just staying there for a friend, and all this kind. So he's being fully investigated. And so on February 13th, just a week or 10 days ago, a couple weeks ago, Park Min Young went in as a witness in Kang's investigation by the police and the authorities, and she denied any involvement in all the things he was doing. Um, and so she has not been prohibited from leaving the country. And it's not like she's a person of interest.
Ah,
She's just they're just trying to get more information from her. So that's what's going on with Park Min Young.
ah,
In between all these, so she's got some of her own little K-drama going on
yeah.
in her personal life. Could threaten her career, could threaten her love life. Kind of her reputation. A lot of people, on the internet is kind of like trashing her. The haters come out, when this kind of stuff happens.
Oh, I know. It's the trolls. I call them
Yeah,
trolls.
right.
Yeah.
Trolls, hater trolls. Anyway, so that's what's going on. So I thought we'd take a look at her future and see what's going on with her career, and maybe pull some tiles and see what's going on with her love life, because obviously those two could be affected going forward. So let's do that. Is
Hmm.
that the next thing to do? Let's see.
Yes, that
Mm.
actually sounds good. But she'll probably want to listen to this too because, oh my
Yeah, so
gosh.
here it is. How is her career for 2023 or the next year, and
Hmm.
how is her love life for 2023? So career and love life.
Mm.
So like we do, we're going to go over here, and we're going to look down here, and we're going to pull some tiles. So let's all focus on Park Min Young, um, and she has her own little. She used to have her own little blog. I don't know if she's done much there, but lately, but and so she was asking all her followers what to name her fans, and I think I told you this last time. She came up with Park as Park Min Young came up with what's that Disney character? Those minions. Yeah. So
Oh,
they're
those
like
little yellow, the little
yeah.
yellow
So
figures.
her
Yeah,
name
with
is
the.
Park Min Young. So
Uh,
her fans are Min Youngs,
oh, that's cute. That's too cute.
minions. Yeah. So whatever.
Yes.
So let's focus on her and her energy and see what's going on with her career. So let's pick some tiles here. And when we feel a little nudge of energy here. So
I know. I feel a little slow today. It's like let's get our energy chi flowing.
yeah, okay, yeah. So yeah, we'll be shorter today, I think. So we'll be more efficient than our past ones. Trying to learn how to do this stuff. Okay, so let's look at her career. It says that there's going to be some emotional ups and downs. I guess there's going to be some a little bit of drama still. I guess kind of swirling around her. But she's also trying to focus and refocus that energy into her creative energies, and trying to move forward into maybe work, because like you said, she's pretty dedicated and hardworking. We get to pick another tile for her, because she got this little flower here. So let's see if we can accentuate what we got already here with another tile. And so she's going to, maybe find some nicer energy, probably in the second quarter. So this is probably going to be probably April, May, June. So coming up here, there's going to be something nicer energy-wise, because this is the orchid, represents something more beautiful, exotic, lush, but nicer energy. But it's still going to take some flexibility and adaptability to kind of make that happen. So I don't know if that's part of the negotiations or part of the shooting schedule or what. because obviously she, may have some other obligations. This is typical for, sometimes these actors have to, figure out the shooting schedule, whether they can do it right, if they're available for the timetable. Table. It does say that there's going to be some things that she's thinking about a relationship. I don't know if that's Kang Jong Hyun, or the impact of that and what it might mean to her and her career. But it seems like there's going to be maybe something about another person that may make her think really deeply about her career and what impact they may have and how to deal with that, and how to address it or move from it. So it's going to be on her mind for quite a while. It says that she's going to be starting something new, um, and something new that's going to maybe, be open to new possibilities and get the attention differently in a different direction. But it's going to start moving slowly and surely. So maybe it's a new opportunity for her. I think she's in discussions with a couple of things that haven't been fully decided. So it's going to move slowly, probably into the fall. Um, And it says that she's going to get back to maybe doing her creative things, as kind of the um, the actress that she is and that she's popular for, and she's going to kind of take the long term view about trying to reestablish that credibility and her reputation a little bit. But it's going to take time and effort to her for her to work through those. So doesn't look anything's like seriously bad. Just looks like she just has to kind of grind through some of this and try to do the right PR moves and the right work moves to help her move forward in her career and not get bogged down by this controversy of her, because a lot of people are speculating, well, she got a lot of gifts from this guy, and and he was lavishing her with all this money because he was spending all this money at his nightclubs. But he actually admitted in an interview that she actually gave him, all he gave her was a Chanel bag, and then she actually gave him a couple of gifts. So it wasn't like she was benefiting from his supposed you know billionaire lifestyle, like some people speculated. So
But she did like the stability of it. She thought because he had so much money, she liked that. That attracted her.
yeah, I'm sure I'm that attracted. I mean,
Mhm.
she's
Mhm.
36. She can't
Mhm.
rely on an acting career forever, or some
Right.
of the roles are going to start to drop off when she gets into her 40s, right?
Right.
Matter of fact, there's less roles. So, and then especially if you're in a romantic comedy, it's kind of hard to find, 40 something, you know, romantic comedy. So even the last show that I saw, she, forecasting love and weather, she actually is her love interest is actually 8 years younger than her, in actual age. And
Mm.
in the show also, he was, late 20s and she was in her 30s. So, in the show kind of represented what their actual age is. And there's an 8 year difference. She's 36 and he was like 28. His name is Song Kang, I think. So yeah. When I started watching, I said, "Oh, so she's worried maybe about her looking too old. So she's kind of pairing up with these younger hunks to kind of make people think like, oh, she's still viable for that
Well,
opportunity."
she still looks like she's in her 20s. She's so beautiful.
Yeah, she is. Well, she is very beautiful. So she's
Yeah.
had some
Yeah.
work done, and she's admitted it.
Oh, okay.
Um, I mean, way back, before she got into
Oh,
big
in
time.
the industry. Okay.
Yeah, so she came from an average family in
Hmm.
Seoul, and unremarkable background according to her. And then, but she also wanted to do acting. So yeah, she's got a couple of procedures done. So you
Mm,
can kind of see.
okay. That youthful procedure.
Yeah, but her skin's beautiful. I
Yeah.
think.
Yes.
But mainly on camera, she comes across so warmly. It's like
Hmm.
so endearing. Somehow people like her because of the way
Yes.
she comes across in camera. Um, and she loves to act. So anyway, that's what's going on with her career. So let's ask about her love life. This might take some time to lick her wounds. I think, don't you think? Um, so let's focus on her for love. Send out some vibes here. Um, and, okay, so let's see what it says for her life. I mean, it could have been like one of her dramas where she was torn whether to stay with this guy or not, because the next day is like, sorry, they broke up. So, yeah, but I'm sure there was probably some rumblings that she saw the news about him and everything like that. So maybe it was, it was a fait accompli. It was a kind of a done deal
Well,
already.
hurtful either way because you invest all this time and your
Yeah, I
emotions
mean,
to somebody, you
so I
know?
mean, she wasn't in the nightclub spending money like him, but they were dating somehow. So, um, anyways, we'll see how that plays out.
Hmm.
So, love life. Let's see what the towels say here for her. We're going from the center, kind of working outwards here. Says that she's going to be very busy. Probably trying to get put all this energy into her work to kind of get some new distractions and kind of get people get herself off of the what had happened over the last 6 months or so. And that she's also ready to kind of she's the peacock shows up. This represents her that she's maturing as a woman. She knows that the clock is ticking along and that she's ready to move on. So, but she's going to be busy just trying to get her career back in shape, um, and at the same time, kind of wondering what's how to move forward in her next move in her love life. It does say that there's going to be some decision or choice that maybe she's going to be focusing on probably around spring or summer about something she has to think about really deeply about whether she wants to what she wants to do with it. This represents kind of thinking more deeply, contemplating, kind of do a little soul searching about what she wants to do and how to move forward. But there may lead to a decision or choice coming up around summertime. And it says that maybe she realized that maybe something nicer or better is possible for her in her love life, but somehow she feels like maybe it's going to be difficult or challenging to accomplish. Um, I mean, I think some of these stars, especially in Korea, because of so much of the controversy surrounding them. I mean, in the West, it's like people do what they want, a little bit more, and people don't care. They just put it, the gossip magazines talk about it, but the fans don't really care, that much. Um, it's like I saw that. I don't know if you saw that Netflix thing about Pamela Anderson, but that was pretty interesting to watch.
Oh, that was really good. I did watch the documentary.
Yeah, yeah. So that was really good.
Hmm.
Kind of give you more insight to what's going on.
Hmm.
But anyway, so similar. It's kind of hard to get out. It's hard to you're kind of a prison of your own fame. So so it seems like there's something nicer, better that maybe she realizes is possible, or maybe starts to feel is coming on in the fall. But there's going to be challenges to it, difficulties, some cold wind there. But seem like this there's some perseverance here. This pearl shows up again toward the end of the year. So it says the last 6 months of the year there's going to be this pearl energy, which is more refined and precious. So maybe somebody that's unlike this kind of shady Kong dude. Uh, Maybe they have a little bit more pristine background and reputation, and maybe she feels like there's something special that may be happening, and she's going to be, it's going to be difficult at first, the first 3 months or so, but then it seems like there's going to lead to a commitment, maybe by the end of the year, because this is called the knot, and the knot, as in KNOT, says it may be a commitment in her love life that may be starting around the end of next year. So we'll see. I mean, maybe we'll never know about it, or maybe we'll have to wait for dispatch to find it. But looks like something's coming up. Maybe toward the second half of the year.
Good. That's nice.
Yeah.
Gives her some
So
choices, like you said. That
right,
choice of A or B type scenario,
right, exactly. So
Hmm.
I mean, obviously, she's this was kind of a stinging reality check for her. This controversy and kind of put maybe she thought this guy was rich and stable, and that would be something for her as she gets older, to rely on, but it all kind of blew up in her face, unfortunately. So she's going to be a lot more careful and a little more discerning about what's going on, I guess. I mean, I
That's
don't know. It does seem like there's something new's coming, though. So good for her. Um,
kind of
all right.
reminds
So,
me. Sorry, kind of reminds me of that actress. That same thing in the United States. Remember that movie? Uh, oh gosh, what's her Anne?
Anne Hathaway.
Yes, same
Anne
thing.
Hathaway had the same problem. She was
Yes,
dating this
yes.
guy, and he went to jail. I mean, he was like, it was a big, huge brouhaha.
Scenario. And
Yeah,
she
very
ended up,
similar. And then she
yeah.
had to, obviously took a lot of hit in the press and what's going on. But
Mm-hmm.
and same with Park Min Young. She doesn't know. You don't know what your partner is doing if you just start dating and all their history and background. You just don't know.
Yes,
And if they don't want to tell you, you're definitely not going to know. So
exactly. So it
yeah,
happens not just to her, but to other people as well.
yeah. Anne Hathaway, yeah, very big
Mm-hmm.
actress in the West and U.S.
Mm-hmm.
and does singer musicals,
Yeah,
stage,
comedy.
singing,
Yeah,
yeah, all that stuff. So very talented, but yeah, I think she took a little hit from that too.
she did. But you know what? I think she got married and is now content and a wife. And I don't know if
Yeah,
she has any children, but it came out okay in the end.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes it's better to move on. Um, so we have Selena is on board here in one of the comments. She wants to know if Taehyung is single. Uh, she asked it twice, in fact. So Kim Taehyung of BTS, of course. Um, we can take a look at that and see what's going on with his love life. I think we looked at it before, Selena, but because there was some controversy about him with Jenny of Blackpink. But let's see if we can take it. I don't know if we can do it today. We might do it next time. But thanks for the
Yeah,
question.
awesome.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see. Let's move along here, and let's go to our next thing, and that is speaking of Blackpink. Let's look at Kim Jisoo. Uh, Kim Jisoo is of Blackpink. She's the eldest, and she was born on January 3rd, my birthday, 1995. So I think we just talked about this a few weeks ago, but maybe we can talk about it again. What's her numerology?
So wait a second. What's her day of her birth again? I'm sorry. The third?
Yeah, just like
Ah,
me.
I don't know. Well, I don't remember everybody's birthday. I can barely remember my own.
Yeah.
um, okay, so the third. Oh, I like three people. They're good communicators,
Oh,
and you like
okay.
to, even though you don't. Well, I already know your destiny, so we're not going to talk about you, Wanugi. But so
We'll talk
people of
about
the,
Kim Jisoo, my
yeah, that's
birthday
right.
buddy.
The expression comes naturally to you. Very skilled in communicating your thoughts through conversation and creative pursuits. And you're upbeat, charismatic, present, inspires others to get on board with your idea. So she's one of those ringleaders that likes to get people, you know, come on, let's go join me. Let's go do something interesting. I like that. She's a very creative energy.
Yeah, what I mean, her personality is really great because she is the older sister of the group, and she is kind of the de facto leader. I mean, there's no official leader in Blackpink, but she's kind of the de facto leader when it comes to talking to the media or when they're a group and they're on a stage and they have to talk and introduce. Because she used to be an MC on a music show early on in her career with Blackpink, so she's very poised and very charming and and then she's kind of goofy too. So
Hmm.
she likes to
I
be
like that.
goofy, and she likes to keep things going in a lot of different ways. So she can be very serious and professional, very charming and sweet. She can be very alluring with her modeling. She models for Dior. In fact, she's going to be on. She's on the cover of Vogue in France, not in Korea, but she's on the cover of Vogue with Dior in France, just coming out. So she's become a global ambassador for Dior. So she's very elegant that way too. But then she can be very goofy and funny, and so very interesting personality. So I like Kim Jisoo. Why can't why shouldn't I not like her? She has
Right.
the same birthday as me.
You guys are feel
And I was born
similar.
in Asia too, so we're on the same side of the world when we were
Yeah,
born.
but I don't. Are you goofy, Wanugi? I haven't seen any goofiness in you yet.
Oh, goofiness.
Yeah.
Well, I'm getting older, so I'm not as goofy as I used to be. But when I was younger, I mean, K-Rap's,
Mm.
come on, I'm K-Rap psychic. I mean,
That's
I'm
true. That's
rapping
pretty
portraits of
goofy.
K-pop idols. That's pretty goofy. Um, I keep losing keep hitting this stupid thing. So
You keep losing your the piece to your headphone.
yeah, I keep hitting it. Anyway, so Kim Jisoo, Blackpink. The big question is, when is her solo? Because first Jenny did her solo, and it was called Solo. Um, Several years ago, I can't remember when it was, but it was 20, yeah, 3, 4 years ago. And then it was Rose, and she came out with her two solos, really. She had two new music solos. Gone was one, and the other one was, I forget the name, but the other side of Gone. Gone was actually the B side. On the Ground. On the Ground was her A side. And then, so she got two songs. And then Lisa, the Thai girl, she came out with her solo. She had two songs too. She had an A and B side. She had La Lisa, and her name, and then Money on the other side, which was a big hit, on the Billboard 100. So now we're waiting for Jisoo and her solo. She was busy doing this drama in 2021, so she did this Snowdrop or Snowdrop drama with Hayan. So there's a lot of, she was busy doing that and filming that. So but now everybody's waiting for her solo. So let's pull some tiles and see what's going on with her solo, and see what they say. So um, let's focus on Kim Jisoo and see what the tiles say. Okay. You weren't with me, Mei Lee, for this. Well, you were maybe part of it. I did. I did live between these two girl groups that are new girl groups. One is called Baby Monster, that's coming from the same company that has Blackpink,
Mm.
and the other one is called New Jeans, and they're very young, but they're kind of taking the K-pop, at least the girl group, you know, category,
Mhm.
kind of by storm, because it just
Mhm.
came out in June of last year, middle of last year, and they've already come out with like 6 songs, and they're all pretty much hits. At least four of
Nice.
them are hits. Um, so, and I like their music. So I've been listening to their music.
Oh, good.
When I drive around, I listen to their music.
So
So
that's the goofy side of you. Haha.
maybe, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. In fact, the latest song is called "OMG." Oh my God. So let's see what the tiles say here. You can see on this photo here, I've got all these are pictures of some of her roles in some of her music videos, and you can see that it's pretty exotic. She has one where she's in the middle, upper middle here. She's got an umbrella and she's got sparks and flames behind her. And then same thing in the red one. She's got flames behind her. And then the one where she's got that, kind of that headdress, and she's shooting an arrow. That's from Kill This Love, and she's got fire on that arrow. And so, and then over here on the top left, she did a on stage live performance with Camila Cabello, who's a popular reggaeton kind of singer in the West. She did Havana, oh na na, that one.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that was Camila Cabello. So she came on stage with Jisoo on her solo.
Nice.
So and then she did another solo here in the bottom right. She was doing a cover there um, called Gravity. So I forget the name of the artist, but so she's been singing solos on stage, but they're covers. Now we're kind of looking for the original solo from her company. So let's see what the tiles say here about that. So even say that, yeah, in the next few months, everybody, you know, they're going to be kind of honest with what the situation is, and that she's going to be changing the energy of uh, her career and her music in the next 3 months. And frankly, I think it may be really pointing to probably around April, about a month and a half from now, because Blackpink is going to be at Coachella again, headlining Coachella this time. So they're going to be down there in April, or I think it's early April. And there's probably some buzz that she's going to maybe unveil the song at Coachella. to this big audience, and then they'll release it, her solo album. I don't know if it's going to be an album. It's probably going to be a mini album, and that um, may have a couple of songs about it, more than not just one song. Let's see what the titles say here. It says that you're going to get a better sense of her and her creative talents through this solo, and you're going to be kind of, her fans are going to be kind of wowed by it. They're also going to feel like they're going to want more. They're going to be very excited, and they're going to feel like it's kind of tonic to their music needs, their music Jones, I guess, because finally it's come out, and there's going to be probably a good chance there's going to be several songs, maybe between 2 and 4 songs that may be on there. So I don't know if she's going to include some covers that maybe she's done before, or come out with a couple original ones. But somehow it says that there may be like 3 songs, or maybe plus or minus one. So we'll see on her solo. But it looks like it's coming out within the next 3 months. I think it's going to be probably April, which is just a little over 5 weeks from now, 6 weeks from now, at Coachella. So is it going to be successful? Yeah, it's going to be very successful, and it's going to be. She's going to become even more of a star. Now that she puts that out there, because she's been underrated for her singing skills, but she is the lead vocalist, and Rosé is the main vocalist. So Rosé, undoubtedly has probably a better range, and more creativity in her voice, but Jisoo is very, very strong singer, and she's really improved a lot in her dancing, singing, and everything. So it's going to be good, and that's my guess. It's going to come probably in about 6 weeks or so. We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's going to be a little later, but I think it's going to be right around or after Coachella, and so probably unveil it there. But that's a big stage. There's going to be tens of thousands of people there. So anyway, that's it for that.
Coachella is in Palm Springs, right?
Yeah, it's down in
Southern California.
yeah, it's in that valley.
Yeah, I know where that is.
It's a little bit farther in than Palm Springs. You
Yeah.
got Palm Springs, then you got to go in there to
Yeah.
Indian Wells. And it's
Right.
over there into
The desert.
yeah. It's a big former polo field, and that's
Yeah.
where they host the Coachella
Right.
Annual event. So yeah, it's
Right.
huge. It's like hundreds of thousands of people.
I think my daughter went to it about 15 years ago. Yeah, it's
Oh,
been
really?
around for
Yeah.
years. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're
Yeah.
this time they did Coachella a couple years ago, and they were a big hit.
Mhm.
And everybody was like, "Wow, who are these people? Who are these
Mhm.
girls?" Because they were like, a smashing success, and they did like a very intense 1 hour, 1 and 5 hour, 15 minute performance where they just went nonstop, song after song after song, and dancing
Mhm.
all over. And nobody really does that on, I mean, to synchronized dancing, that kind of stuff on the Western talent. So unless they're just dancers, they're not singers, right? So, but
Right.
they're doing both. So yeah, they were very popular there, and you can find it online if you want to watch it.
Mhm.
And but yeah, they're going to be headlining this time. Before it was just
Wow.
like they were in the
That's
small print,
great.
but now they're like in the big print.
Nice.
So we'll see what happens. But something to look forward to, and her solo, and I think it's coming in about 5 6 weeks now. She probably filmed it. She was in L.A. and she filmed it, and the company said that they spend more on her music video than any music video of anybody in Blackpink, and so they just keep upping the ante with because their music videos are like, yeah, they're not low budget at all. They're huge budgets, um, and so I think they filmed this, probably at some of the movie studios over there in you know Burbank or wherever in L.A. So I think my guess is that it's going to have some of these elements, some of these fire elements, some of these drama elements. You know, um, I mean, Rose had her video. She had fire. I mean, one thing about YG, the agency that Jisoo works for, Blackpink works for, they they always have they always have a car in every one of their videos, music videos. So there's going to be a car, and I think there's going to be some fire. Okay, and there's going to be some explosions or something. It's going to be pretty dramatic, I think. So that's why the budget's so high, is that they're going to, plus, it's American labor. It's LA. It's not cheap. So,
Well, I think with these musicians is that sometimes they don't get the money that they deserve because they have to pay back some of that. You know, when they hire the production, they have to pay back some of that
oh
to
yeah,
the
yeah. Well, there these
producers. You
girls are
know,
under
huh?
contract, and they,
Yeah,
it's there's an agency split, and each agency has a
right.
different
And they
split.
don't get so they don't get always that paid that well because they have to pay back their expenses.
Yeah, I mean, when you first get started, that's the case.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
yeah.
costs you got to pay for, and
Hmm.
these contracts. A lot of these K-pop uh, groups, they don't make money. They
No, they
train
don't.
for 3, 4, 5 years, and then they get charged for all that training. They have the
Exactly.
voice coach, singing coach, the etiquette coach, the language coach, the choreography coach, and they live in their dorms. So they accumulate all this debt. So that's why a lot of these stars, like the members of Blackpink, they're all from well-to-do families
Hmm.
because if you're poor, it's kind of hard to say, yeah, okay, go try to be a K-pop idol because there's 90% never make it,
Right.
never even debut. So they go join these agencies, and then they're getting built for all this training. So who can
Hmm.
afford that? So Jisoo is from a good family, and so is um, Lisa, so is Rose, and so is Jenny.
Hmm.
They're all they went to private schools. They weren't just some. I mean, one exception is IU. IU is he didn't he mm, IU. She's called Korea's little sister.
Oh,
She's
yeah, I
very
remember her. Yeah.
popular. She's number one soloist, and she's on
Hmm.
on a lot of different dramas too. And she's very sweet. And we did her before. She's
Hmm.
now dating somebody, but she came from a very difficult background. But she debuted when she was 15. She
Yeah.
so
She's a
she's
baby.
the exception. And now she's like got all these endorsements, and she makes a lot of money. But she gives a lot of money to charity. So that's why people love IU.
Hmm.
Anyway, enough of IU. We're talking about but let's go to a Q&A, question and answers, if what we can. So let's where's my so you must like and subscribe for Q&A shout outs. So just to let you know, I mean, if we're going to do something for you, you got to do something for us. So 'cause this takes time and energy. So you got to
We
like
appreciate
and
it.
subscribe. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And then maybe we'll pay some attention to you if we can. So Jennifer Romero, shout out to Jennifer Romero. I don't know where you are, but sounds like you might be from the US. Um, she asked about Kim Jisoo and Blackpink solo. So we just answered that, in the previous slides and the previous segment. And then we have this person here, Awosika Omatoyoshi. Um, I probably butchered the name, but um, this person asked two questions. What about G Dragon, who is a generation kind of, before us idol, but very popular? He was he was with Big Bang, also from the same agency as Blackpink, and they were huge. They were the biggest boy band before BTS. And he was kind of the star of that group, 5-member group. And he can sing, he can rap. He's known for his rapping, but he can sing and dance and all those things. Um, so G Dragon was born on August 18th, 1988. So do you have any numerology tips on him? Maybe
What day? The 18th?
18th.
Okay, sorry about that. I got a little distracted here because you were talking about the Q&A. Okay, so on the 18th, I do have something for him. All right, the 18th. He is very open-minded, open-hearted as well, and his ambition likes to leave things where he found it. So he's not one to change. He just likes to accept and allow, which is a good quality to have.
Mhm.
He's very dependable by nature and successful, and is always service to others. So he's more of a humanitarian, I would say.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I don't know that much about his personality that way. I mean, his real personality, not his stage
right.
persona. His stage persona is,
Oh, totally
edgy.
different. Yeah.
Yeah, he changed his hairstyle and his clothing. I mean, he set trends. He was a
Hmm.
trendsetter, in K-pop, and he was kind of like, I guess, the last generation's, godfather of rap.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
even though he was part of a group. But his bandmate um, has come out with a solo, but G Dragon hasn't really done much since he went into the army a few years ago. I mean, the last thing he did was he did a duet with IU um, on her I don't know popular album of about 3 or 4 years ago called Palette, and so he did right before he went to the army he did a duet with her, and then since then I don't think he's done a lot. So, but he's been kind of in the background, and they've kind of there's been rumors that he's dating Jenny of Blackpink because they, had some history. And Dispatch said they were dating, but there's no confirmation of that or corroboration of that. You know, so anyway, so uh, I'm not sure what Owasika Omotoyoshi wanted. I think she or he wanted to know maybe the relationship between G Dragon and Yura of Girls' Day, because he or she also asked about Yura of Girls' Day. Her real name is Kim Young,
Hmm.
and she's November 6th, 1992. So she's about 4 years older. And it turns out Yura or Kim Young, she was in that series that I just watched with Park Min Young called Forecasting Love and Weather. And so in that story, Park Min Young is about ready to get married to her fiance when the show starts. And then it's a month out from their wedding date. And then she comes home to her apartment and finds her fiance, kind of making out with a weather reporter, that works at that, does reporting for the weather, and both of her and her fiance worked at the weather. Park Min Young and her fiance worked at the weather place, so they were kind of having a office romance and soon to be marriage. And so this other younger girl was there as a reporter. So Park Min Young comes home as the show starts, comes home and sees him in bed with her, Yura, uh, her character, Kwan Ji Young's, excuse me, Kim A Young's character in bed. And so that's how that show starts. That forecasting love and weather. So, but I think this person wants to know about their relationship and their compatibility. I don't know. Uh, I haven't done that work yet, so I might have to defer to look that up because it takes a little bit of time to figure that out. Um, so if I can do that next time, I'll try to do some compatibility between those two. Um, so and then Selena, thank you again for your joining. And is Taeyong's single? And my answer to that is yes, he is. Uh, Even though he's been rumored to be with Channing Kim, and maybe he went to do a little. Um, he went with Park Bogum and Lisa Manaban of Blackpink. They were kind of you know going to a fashion week together, the three of them, and they got a lot of press there, and you know, um, but my guess is that yeah, he's single. He's trying to focus on maybe some of his career right now because BTS is kind of Jin has joined the army, and supposedly maybe everybody else is going to join the army in the next year or two, so they can all come back in 2025 as a group, as a 7-member group again. So that's my guess. That's my sense is that he is single as far as he's not dating anybody seriously. Um, so that answers your question. I don't know if I have to pull towels, but that's just what I get. So anyway, so that's it. Thanks for the questions. I think that's it for now. And we did spend more time than I don't wanted to, as we talked about it. But we'll try to keep this a little bit more snappy as we move forward and get more organized. But thanks for joining us, Maylee, and
Thank you.
thank thank everybody for watching here.
Yes.
And we appreciate everybody joining and like and subscribe. And I might try to repackage this live thing into more of a video thing so it gets a little bit more exposure. But we'll see. So
Okay.
until next time, wishing you all good fortune.
Wishing you all good fortune.
Okay, Maylee.
All right. Thank you.
Take care.
You too.